Hi, I'm Crystal from A Crystal Clear Life, where we focus on planning, organizing, and simplifying to help you lead a crystal clear life too. At least that's the plan anyway. Today, we're going to be setting up our 2021 March dashboard in our digital planner using OneNote. So let's jump into OneNote and take a look at what we're going to do. You can see here in my notebook for 2021 Crystal's Life Planner, I have a number of sections set up here at the top. Inbox, year-long, January, February, March, April, and then one for my business and my budget. Today we're going to be focusing on March. When I talk about setting up the dashboard, I wanted to show you an example of my February dashboard. You can see here that I have a calendar, monthly calendar that runs kind of in a different way. It's not the typical block monthly calendar, but it's set up more as an agenda style, which I personally like. But you could put any kind of calendar in here that you wanted to. On this side, I also have a currently I am section. I have things to do in the garden because I'm an avid gardener. I have my intentions or my big goals, things that I want to work on for the month of February listed here, and a nice quote, and just some other notes around to remind me of things to do. Now it's time to get one set up for March. So let's jump over into March and I'll show you what's started over there. So in March, you see that I have a blank notebook template. Now this template is something that I designed in PowerPoint way back in December. Every year I design a different notebook template, so when I look at a page I can tell what it is. This year I was feeling a little Art Deco, so I went a little black and white, a little bold graphic, and so this is what I've chosen for my 2021 planner. This is the blank notebook that I can add anything to. Reminder, if you don't want your notebook to move, you need to make sure that you click on the picture, set the picture as the background. If you see the dots around it like we have here, that means it's not set as the background. So you want to set the picture as the background. The dots will go away, and then anything that you put on top of this will not move. Also in March, I've decided that my theme is going to be tulips. So you see here that I have pulled some things from various sticker sets that I have, quotes that I've created, information from my garden section that I'm going to be using potentially in my setup. I pull them here just to the theme because it makes it easier than searching through all of my sticker sets and all of that kind of thing to get things organized. Now, what I could do is very easily go back here to this blank page and I could start building my template. But because you guys are new here and you're not sure what my template always looks like, what I want to do this time is I want to go to my February template. And you can see over here it says dashboard, February dashboard for 2021. I'm simply going to make a copy of that by clicking copy or move. I'm going to move it into March and I'm going to make a copy. Now what that's going to do is when I go back and click on my March tab, I now have that February dashboard theme. And if I click on that page, you see it is an exact copy of the page that we were just working on. So what I'm going to do today, so that you have an overview of what this is going to look like, is I'm going to start here and I'm just going to replace things. So let's start up here in the top left-hand corner, and we're going to take the word January, and I'm going to click on that and cut it. Get rid of that. And you'll remember in my March theme over here, I have the word March with some pretty tulips on it. So I'm going to copy that, jump back to my February dashboard page and do a quick paste. Now I can paste it here and you see that it comes in very large. It's often a very good habit to get used to pasting things over here on the side, outside of your notebook page, because sometimes things can move around. Speaking of this extra space over here, you see that I have some things that I was working on last month. February was Heart Month, so I was noting that here. I also had a 28 Days to a Healthy Heart plan and a walking challenge that I was doing. But I'm not going to be doing those in March. I'll pick something new to do. So I'm going to delete those so that I have workspace available. You see here I have the word dashboard, and it's written in pink because that was one of my February colors. I think for February, I like purple tulip, so I'm going to choose purple. So I can change that color. And I'm going to come over here to my notes. We're still in the time of this pandemic, so safer at home is going to be in effect for us through March. So I'm simply going to click on that word and change it to March. We only go out when absolutely necessary for groceries and medications and those kinds of things. So no leaving the house, not for us anyway. Now you'll notice here that I have my February calendar and it's divided into two sections. I'm going to click on that and delete it. Click and delete, click and delete. And I'm also going to delete this beautiful heart graphic down here at the bottom. Now this page is pretty blank and you may wonder where I'm getting these calendars from. Well, if I go back over here to this year-long tab up at the top, and if I click on that, one of the things that's in my year-long tab is my 2021 calendar. I start one of these at the beginning of every year. It's kind of like a looking ahead kind of thing. And you see here, there's March. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to click and select March. Usually I like to try to cut the month in half. So let's go down to the 14th and we will right click, make a copy, go back into March. And again, remember, it's always best to paste on the side and then take that whole container and drag it into place. There we go. Now let's go get the rest of the year. So back to year long. We're in our 2021 calendar. Now we're going to highlight from the 15th down to the end of the month. Right click, copy, go back to March, go to the side to paste, hit paste, and then click and drag that container into place. There we go. Now, the color for March is this teal turquoisey color, which I think looks nice with the purple, but if you wanted to change that color, you certainly could. Let me show you quickly how to do that. I'm just going to do up here for the March tab, so we could do this whole row across the top, and we come over here and go down to where it says table, because my calendar is set up as a table, and under table there is shading. And under shading, I have all of these colors to choose from. So I could make it green, and you can see what it would look like green. But I like the teal. I'm going to stick with that. So I'm going to undo that. Notice in my calendar also that I have highlighted the weekend days, the Saturdays and Sundays, and if there were a holiday in March, that would also be highlighted just to help it stand out for me. Okay, now you see when I brought some of those things in, my simplify, my word for the month, or word for the year actually, moved down a little bit. That's okay. All I need to do is click and drag on that, and I can put it wherever I would like. Now, let's see. This page is looking a little boring, so I'm going to grab this little kitty cat icon. This little kitty cat icon reminds me of my husband. And since all of this stuff started, he's been working from home. So he loves to drink coffee. That's why he has a giant coffee cup. We're going to put him up here, but I want him to be like he's sitting underneath of this little corner. So with his container highlighted, I'm going to right click on him, and I'm going to go down here to order. And it says to bring him forward or bring him to the front, send him backwards or send him to the back. Well, because I want him to look like he is sitting under that, I'm going to send him backwards, and then you will see that he is now behind this little pergola corner thing. If you want to see all of him, then you're going to click on Bring to the Front, and then you'll be able to see all of that, and then we can put him sitting wherever we'd like. Do we like him there? Do we like him up there? One of the wonderful things that I love about digital planning over paper planning is my stickers would always stick. And I would tear my pages, and then I would be angry and upset and not happy about using that planner page. With digital, I can click and move him wherever I'd like. I can use him over and over again. I can buy stickers once and use them throughout the entire year. So I think that's absolutely wonderful about digital. And it's always fun to play around with where things are located. Now I also have this little container down here that I'm going to bring up, and it says Michael is working from home. I think because I've got him at the top, I'm going to move this up here like that. Now you'll notice that it has its own container. If I put my cursor here, you can see that Michael working from home has one container, and the container above it is where I have other notes. It's okay to stack them like that. Again, that's one of the beauties of digital planning, is you can really make the page look however you would like. Now let's go get some decor. Let's go to our notebook template, March themes, and I love these crocus. Now I know that crocus are not tulips, but I'm going to click on those, and I'm going to hit copy, and then I'm going to go back to my dashboard, and again, pasting off of the notebook. There we go. Now that's a little big. Let's see if I can make that a little bit smaller. Okay, maybe a little bit smaller. I don't want it to take up all that space. Yeah, that looks good. You know what? Let's actually fill this whole bottom space with crocus. So I'm going to copy that now that it's the size that I want it, and I'm going to paste it again, put that in place. Let's see if I can squeeze one more in there. Paste it again. And there we go. Move him over just a little bit. Perfect. I think that looks good. Okay. I'm going to make this word simplify a little bit smaller, and I'm going to move it over like so. And I want to put on here my favorite quote from this year. It's kind of been one of my guides, and it says, use it up, wear it out, make do or do without. It's kind of been one of my mantras during this whole crazy pandemic. So I'm going to put that in there to help remind me, use it up, wear it out, make it do or do without. And that's one way this year that I am learning to simplify. So I'm going to go up here and just put my cursor in place. And I'm going to write the word equals. So this quote equals simplifying. All right, that side of the page is looking okay. The way this calendar works is you can go, it's set up as a table, so you can make these sections larger or smaller if you would like to. And the containers up here can also be made larger or smaller as you would like them to be. Let's move him over a little bit and give him a little bit more room. And And let's move him over. Also give him a little bit more room so that he can expand if need be. And we'll move him up a little bit, and we'll move him up a little bit. There we go. Now, let's say we have an event coming up on Saturday, March the 6th. And let's say that we are, well, we can't go anywhere, but let's say that's the project that we're going to be working on, mulching the yard. So I'm going to put in here, mulching. And because this is a table, I can click in the cell of the table and start typing, and the cell will get bigger as needed to the edge of the container. So it will expand all the way over to the edge of this container. So mulching the garden beds. And you see how it expanded until it reached the edge of the container, and then it went down and made a second row. Now, if you want to move this around, you could move it that way, and you could move the container a little bit wider that way if you'd like. Again, the beauty of digital is you can make it look however you would like it to look. Okay? Now, you'll notice when I did all that moving that all of these things down here moved. They didn't change their location, they just moved. I want to show you a trick. If you go up here to draw and you click on the lasso tool, you can come down here and draw a circle or a lasso around all of these pieces, and then they will all move together as one so that you can adjust them back up on your page the way you want. That's pretty cool, isn't it? Okay, back to our cursor and back to our Home tab. Now I'm moving to the right-hand page, and you see here that I have a currently section. I love to fill these in from the second half to the end of the month. So this one happens to be blank at the moment, but it talks about things that I'm currently reading, what audiobook I might be listening to. I love audiobooks. I read so many audiobooks while I'm doing other things around the house. It's wonderful. Things that I might be watching, YouTube videos, master classes, television shows, that kind of thing. Podcasts, things that I'm currently eating or cooking, things that I'm creating or planning, things that I'm waiting for, like traveling. Ways that I'm feeling, things that I'm celebrating, things I'm looking to improve. Traveling, nowhere lately. Focusing on, wearing, dreaming, and my favorite one, what is my current guilty pleasure? Anyway, I love to fill this out and go back and look at it from time to time to see exactly how I was feeling during that month. All right, over here I have an in the garden section where I list things that need to be attended to in my garden. These things actually came from our local extension office, and they give me an idea of things to start on in the garden. So it's very helpful to have this list. Now, you'll also see here that these other items got moved as well. So remember, we can use that lasso tool again. Draw, lasso, select everything that's here, and move it all back up where we would like it to be. Okay? All right, let's change this graphic out. Go back to our type icon in our home bar. Let's move this graphic out. I'm gonna click on that so that you see its dot, and dashed line. I don't know why that's hard for me to say. So that you can see its dot and dashed line. Once that is highlighted, we can click that, and there goes the graphic. We'll also get rid of our pretty pink flower. So click on that and hit delete. And I want to add something in here. Let's see what I pulled from my themes. Well, I've used the crocus, I've used the March. Well, I talked about the garden, but I didn't pull over my list of things to do. So let's click on that container and make a copy of that. and take it back to the page we're working on. Click February to delete it. And again, clicking on the side, paste. Wow, look how skinny it made that. All right, we'll get that cleaned up. There we go. Prune our roses. There we go. All right, that looks good. Now you see that my quote down here is a little in the way, so I can click on that container and move. I'm having trouble grabbing this container. No worries. Move March out of the way. Grab this one. Pull it down to the bottom. And put the garden back. There we go. All right. Does that look okay? Yeah, I like that. I like the way this picks up the butterfly, picks up the color from March, and we have the purples. That looks good. All right. Now, let's see. There was something I wanted to put behind or inside my quote. I don't think washi tape. Let's use this guy. Let's use this black cat. So we're going to make a copy of him. Take him back to our page. We'll paste him on the side. And let's see. Do we want him sitting there? Maybe I want him in between. Let's try that. Put him there. Grab the cat. Uh-oh, I just made him a lot skinnier. Undo, undo. There we go. Let's see. How does that look? Move it over a little bit more. Click on the cat. Move the words down just a little bit more. Let's see. We want him kind of sitting. Yeah, let's do that. That looks cute. That looks cute. We'll do that. Now, I also saw a checkbox over here. I kind of like that too. Let's see if we can use that somewhere. So we'll copy that. Come back over here. Paste on the side. Let's try and put him... Maybe we can maybe even make it a little bit bigger. Let's try making it a little bit bigger. And that way, I have a space that I can add some new ways to simplify. Simplify and enjoy the time together. It's great advice for this crazy season we're in. Now, let's check out my intentions or my goals, not for February, but for March, and see what modifications that we need to make. So we'll change that to March. Home, I'm still working on my dining room. I'm so embarrassed it's taking me this long. I really just have a problem getting rid of some of these things that are school related. Financial monthly is always something that I need to do, and walking more is something that I need to do. So I'm going to leave those things. I have other goals that I use on my goal sheet, but these are just things to keep in the forefront of my mind. For crafting and such, I have a quilt called the Full Bloom quilt, and it's currently out being quilted. So I got the backing on last month. So it's at the quilt shop at the moment, being long arm quilted. But when it comes back to me this month, I am going to need to put the, not border, but I'm going to need to put the binding on and hand sew that binding in place. That's always a fun job. I like hand sewing. And cutting table placement for my craft room. And then for church, I'm in charge of their social media. So I always have to do my Facebook post and track my social media. And I am also in charge of the Zoom broadcast on each Sunday. So I'm going to add that to my list this year. I also have a few notes down here. Moving a little with frequency matters more than moving a lot once in a while. Which means move a little bit more often and you'll get better results than waiting and saying, well, I don't have time for a 4-mile walk. Just move 10 minutes, dance, play, run, whatever. Planning your dinners in advance keeps decision fatigue at bay. I do have to say that since I implemented meal planning last year, it has been a lifesaver and really stress-free. I really enjoy it. If you'd like to see a video about my meal planning system, leave me a comment down below and I'll try and get that together for you. Plan an adventure that includes a friend. I have friends that I need to catch up with. It might only be a Zoom meeting. It might be a friend that has a new house. She's been wanting us to see her house. So it might be a Zoom house tour for the month of March. I want to make sure that I get that done. So I'm leaving that there to remind me. All right, so let's take a look at the whole page and see what we think. I think that looks pretty good. Now, there's one thing that I do notice right up here at the top. It still says February dashboard for 2021. We need to change that page name to March dashboard. And you'll see that when I change it here, it also changes it over here in my page list. Now, if I go back to February, my February dashboard is there. That's what it looked like before we started modifying. And there's our March dashboard ready to go. We only have a few more weeks in February, but we're all set up for March so we can start doing some future planning. I'm so eager to get out in the garden. I am so desperate for sunshine. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you've learned a little bit about digital planning in OneNote. And if you'd like to learn more, go ahead and hit that subscribe button so that you know when I post a new video. It's about once a week. And if you learned something or found some value in this video, give me a thumbs up. Hit that like button down below. And I'm so thankful that you came by and spent time with me today. OneNote is something that I think is very valuable, and doing my digital planner in OneNote is just so rewarding and fun. I can make it look pretty and cute just like I used to could with my paper planners, only I'm not as afraid of messing up as I used to be. Anyway, thanks for coming by and spending time with me. I really appreciate it. Okay, bye.